Hi. So today we have a birthday, Shalamis Putney, and in 5 days we have a birthday for David Putney. So happy birthday to you all, to both of you. So this is the week in the Torah that Rachel and Leah are having all their children, and also Bilhah and Zilpah. And then they have to run away from Lavan because it's time to go back, and who knows what he's going to try and do. Bad guy. And of course, you have to wonder, how did a bad guy like Lavan have four righteous daughters, Leah and Rachel, and also Bilhah and Zilpah were his daughters. Four righteous women who raised 12 righteous sons, and they were good people. And Lavan was evil, just like his father Bethuel was evil. He wanted to prevent the marriage of Rivka to Yitzchak. He wanted to kill Eliezer, ended up getting killed himself. And then we have Lavan, who chased after everybody after they left, and he said, "It's in my power to do you harm, but God spoke to me last night and said, you better not, so I won't." Well, the reason we can understand how it is that these four righteous women came from such an evil man has something to do with Adina. According to the Sefer Yashar, the Adina was the wife of Lavan was named Adina, and Adina means delicate. Now Lavan means white, Lavan, and you know how the pig, we understand, tries to fool us to think he's kosher because he holds out his front things like this and shows that his hoofs are cleaved, but he doesn't chew cud, so he's not kosher. But he's trying to show you, look at me, I'm kosher. Same thing with Lavan. White is purity, goodness, like the wall behind me. What a fine wall it is. Lavan presented himself as a righteous man, but he was an evil man. But his wife, Adina, she was good. And she raised up her daughters to be good. Adina means delicate. So while Lavan had this false front, Adina was a delicate soul. She was aware of truth, and she taught it to her daughters. And thus they were capable of raising the 12 sons of Jacob to be righteous. So I found this. I recently read a book about Hebrew names in which the great Torah scholar Rav Chaim Kanievsky Shlita quotes from an obscure medrash called Sefer Yashar in Parshas Toldos that Lavan's wife was named Adina. So I later found that Rav Kanievsky himself addresses the question, how could this bad family come to have good children? He writes that if Lavan's wife could raise two such incredible, well, four really, righteous women in the house under the nose of the wicked Lavan, she must have been an incredibly righteous woman in her own right. And one can certainly name a child after her. So it's okay to have the name Adina, even if your husband was Lavan. Don't change your name. Now, there's an interesting thing about this part of the world. You know, we went down to Mitzrayim, and when we came out, Hashem said, "You're never going back there." One time in Mitzrayim was plenty for everybody. But look at this area here. here is, okay, goes backwards. Here is Haran, where where Rivka grew up, and where Rachel and Leah grew up, and Zilpah and Bilhah. And then later on in our history, after the temple is destroyed, we get dragged back to Babylon, and we conclude the exile in Shushan. That's where Purim happens. And the area called Padan Aram was an area, not just a city. And here's Nineveh, where who had to go there? Yonah, right? He was going to be sent there by Hashem to go and tell them to do tshuva. He didn't want to do it because they probably would and then make the Jews look bad. So, plug in battery. Don't want to lose this video. Here we go. Okay. And not only that, but there are countries here that we dealt with a number of times. Of course, the Babylonians came to give us trouble, but they were sent by God to do it. The Assyrians were another empire that came and gave us trouble, and the Medians. So this whole area, we have a long history with this area called Persia, today Iran. And today Iran is the biggest enemy of the nation of Israel. They are the ones who supply the bombs. Here's Jerusalem, here's Israel. Up here in the Golan and north in the Lebanese mountains, they have hundreds of thousands of rockets supplied to them by Iran, put there for the purpose of destroying Israel. Now, what did we do to Iran? Well, we bombed their nuclear reactor back in 1980, but they just have a complete hatred for us. We don't border them. We didn't take land from them. Only reason we bombed their reactor, and Cousin Doobie was part of that. The only reason we bombed their reactor was because they were planning to use bombs against us. It was defense. We weren't attacking just to attack. Why do they hate us? Because we are God's people, and they're not. Anyway, so somehow it seems we have, while we're never supposed to go back to Mitzrayim, one time in Egypt is enough. We keep having more and more interactions. There must be something about this area. Remember, this is the area where Sarah grew up, and she was an even greater Navi than Abraham. And Abraham had to listen to her. And this is where Rivka grew up. And this is where Rachel and Leah and their maids grew up. So there's a strange connection always between us and Bavel. Even I think when we went against the Battle of Ai, and Achan stole some things he wasn't supposed to steal, and he caused us to be defeated at the Battle of Ai. Joshua looked in and found that he'd stolen some things, and among them were some Babylonian garments. So we have this long connection with Babylon. I don't understand it. If you ever find out what it is, let me know. Okay, so Shabbat Shalom, and love y'all.